Okay, so good morning. The time is 9:02, and I'm calling this meeting to order. My name is Jessica Brandt. I'm with the Office of Planning and Environmental Review. I will be serving as today's hearing officer. Stephanie Townsend will be serving as ZA Secretary and Timekeeper. This is the Sacramento County Zoning Administrator hearing for December 2nd, 2020. This hearing is being recorded. I will now read the announcement. In compliance with directives of the County, State, and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, this meeting is live streamed and closed to the public. Temporary procedures are subject to change pursuant to guidelines related to social distancing and in-person contact. To make a verbal comment at today's meeting, dial 916-875-2500 and follow the prompts to be placed in queue for a specific agenda item or off-agenda matter. When I open public comment for a specific agenda item or off-agenda matter, you will be transferred from the queue into the meeting to make a verbal comment. Written comments are always accepted. Send your email comment to boardclerk, all one word, BOARDCLERK @SacCounty, SACCOUNTY.net, N-E-T. Your comment will be routed to the board and filed in the record. To appeal a decision. The decision made here may be appealed within 10 days to the Board of Zoning Appeals. The fee is $3,935. Next, please follow these meeting procedures and best practices if you are a presenter. Speak from a handset or a headset. Mute devices when not speaking to minimize background noise. Announce your name when speaking on an agenda item so all participants and listeners are aware of who has the floor. Send a comment through the chat function if participating from a laptop, PC, or mobile device, so the administrator knows you are waiting in queue to speak. And now I'll ask the clerk to administer the oath.
Please raise your right hand and the appropriate response is I do. Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, so help you God? If you do not swear, do so affirm.
Okay. Is that okay, Stephanie? I didn't hear anyone.
Is the applicant there?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Michael, did you affirm?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. Okay, and now Stephanie, please call the first item.
Item 1 is to approve the action summary from the October 21st, 2020 meeting.
Okay, I have reviewed and do approve the action summary from the October 21st, 2020 ZA hearing. Like item 2 is being set up, so whenever you're ready to read that one in.
Item 2, 8555 Florin Road Special Development Permit located at 8555 Florin Road, approximately 540 feet south of Florin Perkins Road. Request is for a special development permit and design review, and the environmental dock is exempt.
Okay, and it looks like we have Desiree Fox as the lead planner who will provide a brief presentation.
Good morning, Zoning Administrator Brandt. Confirming you can hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Awesome. My name is Desiree Fox, presenting on PLP 2015-00168. The project site is located at 8555 Florin Road, approximately 530 feet east of Florin Perkins Road in the South Sacramento community. The project request is for a special development permit to deviate from the required masonry wall adjacent to a residential use for an existing RV storage facility in the Florin Perkins SPA. The project also includes a design review to comply with the countywide design guidelines. Next slide. The project request for the special development permit is to allow a 7-foot-high wood fence along the masonry property line, along the western property line. Currently, the property is developed with a chain link fence, and the current fence does not provide separation between the rear yard of the residential property and the subject commercial site. Next slide. This project was reviewed at a September 2nd ZA hearing with ZA Mark Michelini. The applicant requested at the hearing that DOT conditions related to street improvements along Florin Road be removed from the conditions document. ZA Michelini did not feel confident or comfortable in making that decision at the hearing and allowed for the item to be continued so further discussion could take place between DOT planning and county council. Since that hearing, the applicant team has confirmed that they are in agreement with the advisory conditions and that the street improvements will take place at the time a building permit is issued for a new or an existing structure. More information on the advisory condition is listed in attachment 2 to the staff report in the advisory sections of the document. Next slide. Here's a context photo for the area of the site. The residential property is to the west, and there's a metal building that is used for the commercial property that is taking place in the rear yard of the existing residential site. The proposed fence will separate the rear yard from the commercial property and will have a wood fence that goes along the entire property line. Next slide. Here is a site plan. The green line on the site plan indicates where the new wood fence would be installed. There is a gate that is proposed to provide access to the building, which is proposed to remain. That is in the rear yard of the residential property. Next slide. And then some key points for the project site. The property is approximately 4.18 acres and it's in the Florin Perkins SBA. In 1989, the board approved a variance to allow for a deviation from landscape standards and to allow for the rear yard of the adjacent residential property to be used for storage. A condition was placed on that variance to require that the fence be developed between the single-family residence and the adjacent commercial site once ownership of the property is changed. And then in 1997, a conditional use permit was approved to allow for a truck and trailer rental facility as an ancillary use on the existing residential vehicle storage use. The conditional use permit still remains active to this day, and the conditions related to the conditional use permit are still in effect for the property. Next slide. The project was reviewed at the South Sacramento CPAC on July 17th. The South Sac CPAC had a brief discussion of the project site and ultimately recommended to the ZA the approval, 3 yes, 0 no. And the design review administrator established the project compliant with the countywide design guidelines by issuing a approval letter. However, the item did not go to DRAC because the request is strictly related to zoning code regulations and does not pertain to the countywide design guidelines specifically. So the DRA issued the letter stating that the project is in compliance with the countywide design guidelines if the ZA approved the special development permit. Next slide. Staff recommendation to the ZA is to recognize the exempt status of the project under the applicable section of CEQA, approve the special development permit, and find the project in substantial compliance with the countywide design guidelines, all subject to the findings and conditions listed in attachment 2 of the staff report. That concludes staff presentation, and the applicant, Michael Height, is on the line to answer any questions that might be suited for the applicant.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Stephanie, do we have any members of the public that would wish to speak?
We currently do not have any written or callers waiting to speak.
Okay. So let's see here. I don't have any questions for staff. I did review the materials that were made available for the September meeting. So trying to kind of get myself up to speed. I know Mark had done the initial review of this as the zoning administrator at the time. So I think at this point, Michael, as the applicant, did you read the staff report and the revised conditions, and are you in agreement with them?
Yes, I'm in agreement with the revised conditions.
Okay, and you're aware that the conditions relating to the improvements along Florin still remain and would be triggered with any building permit on the site, correct?
In the conditions, it allows for routine maintenance and those type of features before. I understand, a complete building permit to do anything major, but according to the conditions, they allow for electrical panel or sewer, ongoing and operational maintenance that may need a permit would be exempted from that.
Okay, so like miscellaneous permits and the like. Let me take a quick look at that. Make sure. Okay. So the language is need to be complied prior to building permit issuance for a new or an existing and heretofore unpermitted structure. Includes routine or customary maintenance and repair of the structure. Okay, great. That sounds like the revisions are acceptable to you. Did you have any questions or any comments you wanted to make?
No, I think we're good at this point.
Okay. All right. Stephanie, if there are no members of the public wishing to speak, do I still need to open and close the public comment?
Yes, you can do that if you'd like.
Okay. I would like to now open public comment. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak? Okay. And because there are none, I am now closing the public comment for this item. I understand this has been in the system for quite a long time, and there's a lot of history on this site. I have read, as I mentioned, the past staff reports and the amended conditions and the addendum that Ms. Fox provided. And I understand the request. And at this point, I see no reason to deny it. Therefore, I am going to recognize the exempt status of the request under Section 15301 of the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA. And I'm going to approve the special development permit subject to the findings and the conditions as listed in the current staff report packet, and find the project in substantial compliance with the countywide design guidelines subject to the findings and conditions, again listed in attachment 2 of that staff report. Again, there is a 10-day appeal period for this action. This approval will become final after that period has lapsed, unless appeal is filed. And I believe that is the last hearing item. Do we move now to reports?
Yes, item 3 is a staff update if we have any.
This is Manuel, Senior Plan. No, we don't have any updates at this time.
Item 4, zoning officer comments.
I have no comments at this time. Thank you.
And item 5 is public comment, and we did not receive any further public comments.
Okay, great. So at this point, I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you. It is now 9:17. and we are adjourned. The next zoning administrator meeting is scheduled for December 16th, 2020.